you've heard a lot about Trump and his people talking about how they're going to have this meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska, and that this is going to end the Russian. This is not what they're calling it, but Russia's attack on Ukraine. And what you've seen since they made this big announcement was the fact that this is disintegrating. That is, it turns out that Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, who's a real estate person who doesn't actually have any training in negotiations and doesn't speak Russian, appears to have misunderstood what the terms were that Putin was offering. They've had to retract what they said was going on, and the Russians have been laughing about it. And now, today, Trump and the administration are dramatically walking back what they said they were going to accomplish in that meeting on Friday. And a couple of things that really jump out about it. One is that the many countries that are supporting Ukraine essentially appear to be ignoring what Trump wants to do. Now, of course, American support for Ukraine is really important, but a number of other countries around the world, especially in Europe, have been Europe and Australia have been and Canada. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said especially in Europe. There are a lot of countries around the world that are supporting Ukraine, and they are essentially saying, okay, if you Americans are not going to participate, we're going to do it without you. And if you look at the way Trump is reacting to that, he keeps trying to impress people with the idea that his meeting is going to be really, really important. But I think he's really afraid of the idea that maybe it's not, that maybe that what the Vladimir Putin and Trump have counted on really since 2016 is that America is such a big dog that what America does, the rest of the world is going to have to sign on to. And you can see this with Trump's tariffs as well. And instead, what you have started to see is other countries saying, okay, if you don't want to play, you don't have to play. We're going to work around you. And that, I think, is frightening to Trump and to the administration. There's also the problem for it that by offering a greeting to Vladimir Putin for the first time since 2007 on American soil, the United States is openly allying itself with somebody that the International Criminal Court has indicted as a war criminal for stealing children from Ukraine. And I don't quite see how they missed that and what a hornet's nest it would stir up. Maybe they're thinking that Americans don't care about the International Criminal Court because we are not a signatory to it, but we were not to the treaty that created it. But we didn't do that because we argued at the time. I mean, many of us suspect there were a number of things going on, not least that Americans were afraid some of our leaders would show up in front of the International Criminal Court. But we argued that we didn't need the International Criminal Court because we had a justice system that was as good as any. And so you could simply bring people to justice in front of Americans. I think a number of people no longer believe that to be the case. And so for the United States to essentially flout what the International Criminal Court has said about Vladimir Putin and welcoming him to U.S. soil is a really big deal. And so this meeting is kind of blowing up in their faces.